Today is the Nakba. It's 76 years where we commemorate the loss of land, the loss of life, the loss of dignity. And we also celebrate 76 years of resistance and 76 years of patience and power that cannot be quashed. It's an important day, and it's a day that is now becoming a part of the calendar for everyone, not just people who are Palestinian. Because if you care about Palestine, it's usually because you care about equality, because you care about justice, and you care about your brothers and sisters on this planet. So Palestine is the litmus test for those who care. And I'm really, really happy to share the stage with Mo Nasser. Let's give him a round of applause. So Mo, tell us, let's start with the most recent event. Tell us about how that started and what that felt like.
So we, at Sussex, we've been demonstrating for 7 months since the October 7th horrors. And the aim of that was to stand for the people of Gaza, for the loss of lives that have now reached almost 40,000 civilians killed in Gaza. But not just that, it was unexpected, the war, and coming into taking the role as president in the society, I did not expect all to happen, and it was a shame that I had to go into the society and deal with protesting for Gaza. I wanted to make sure that we raise awareness about the liberation of Palestine, and that was my goals going into the role. However, the war, it did put a dent in our plans, but it's still important to raise awareness on the resistance in Gaza specifically. And so we, after 7 months of demonstrating, marching around campus, the university sort of stayed silent for these 7 months. And most recently, there was an article published by The Badger, interviewed the Vice-Chancellor, Sasha Rosenhill, and from that we concluded, or it was said that Sussex has no intention of condemning the violence in Gaza and has no intention of making a public statement supporting the Palestinians or the Palestinian cause, which led to a formation of a planning committee. Specifically, first, it was for any direct action. What can we do directly to sort of respond to that? So we made the committee, and everyone was happy to do an encampment. And so we actually started planning last Monday, gave ourselves a week to do it. And yeah, so the whole of last week it was meetings on meetings, planning how we want to do it, health and safety risk, what could go wrong. And yeah, the team has been amazing, and the launch could not have gone any better.
Well done. So impressed. It's been amazing to see all across the world how young students, academics are showing their resistance outside universities, and what they've been met with as well. It's been shocking, but it's made the voice loud and clear, and it gives resounding hope to the rest of the world. I mean, my mind is taken back to the 1970s immediately. It feels like the first time in a long time that students have let their voice be known, and we are relying on that energy and that intellectual power to be at the forefront of these movements. Tell us more about how it's going inside the camp this week, and what's happening, what kind of culture is emerging while you're there?
So yeah, today is day 3 of the camp. First day we had a large number of people joining, which was really nice. Over the past 3 days there hasn't been any sort of interaction either with Zionists or anything. It's been really peaceful. I mean, the Zionists, they're always going to do their thing online, but that's because they're cowards. They don't dare to come up to us, really. And it's been really great creating that community within the camp. And that is our goal for the first week, is to create a large community so that when we do start to escalate, hopefully it doesn't come to it and we get sort of response to our demands. But if it does come to escalating, then we have our community there to support us, whether it's support from town, from organisations in town, or whether it's support from students, and growing that the student intifada.
Mo, would you tell us a little bit about your family, your background, and where you grew up, and how that informed what you're doing now?
I was like a week old when we moved to Lebanon, where my family resides, after we moved from Jaffa in 1948. And so I grew up in Lebanon for most of my life, moved around a lot, moved to Dubai as well. Came to England about 7 years ago for completing my secondary education, and moved to Brighton 2 years ago to study medical neuroscience.
Okay, here's the big question. Have you ever been to Palestine?
I have not, no.
Same here. So for many Palestinians, we've never even visited the land of our forefathers, and how does that feel?
Honestly, it really pisses me off. Not being able to go where my ancestors grew up and lived in, and not being able to see my family home, or be in my home. It's my home country, not being there, and having all other places being my second home. It's not the same. And I've moved around a lot, and none of it felt like home to me. I could adapt, but none of it felt like home.
Yeah, it's also a great sorrow, and strangely a sort of sense of shame, which doesn't make any sense. That, you know, people introduce me as British Palestinian. I've never been to Palestine, and that really hurts, actually. And I was intending to go this year. So it's quite strange when you carry the trauma of the generations, but you don't actually carry the experience, and you always feel a little bit distant from the culture. Am I speaking for us both?
Yeah.
But how does that inform the work you do to promote Palestinian culture, and what kind of drive does that give you?
I mean, obviously not being able to be home just gives me more drive to see a liberated Palestine in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Because I definitely want to go back home. I definitely want to raise my kids there, when I do get kids. And yeah, definitely I want to grow old there, just like my ancestors did. And I feel like over here it's my responsibility to promote and raise awareness about Palestine, and make sure that as a student, I have a role in engaging the students in promoting this cause, and making sure that students show their voice, and I'll make sure their voices are heard.
Have you found people to be more engaged than before?
I think especially after October 7th, many people have started to sort of read up on the history and the context, which is really good to see. Obviously you'll have the people who are completely brainwashed, and even if you show them all the evidence in the world, they'll be stuck in their ways. But
Daily Mail.
yeah, BBC, but the majority of people I've spoken to have started reading up and started asking more and more questions about why are we doing this? What is the history behind this? And it's really good to see different people sort of asking questions about this. Because I feel like, for me, I was born, obviously I knew I was Palestinian, and even being born or being raised in Lebanon or in any Arab country, we know Palestine is our cause, and we are aware of what's happening in Palestine. It's all over our curriculums in Lebanon, and in Algeria as well, and many other countries. It's in their curriculum, and many countries in their curriculum have sort of established Palestine as its own country. And so seeing people asking questions and stuff who might not have learned about it at school, that was really good to see.
Isn't it amazing how people, it's starting to change now, but how history is taught in this country and that people don't realise it was the British who started this problem in the first place.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's not a problem over there. It's a problem created through Britain and through its colonial past and present. It's amazing. So that really I found is the route. When people were less engaged, to engaging people on the subject. Yes, would you tell us what parts of Palestinian culture you want people to know about?
All of it. It's an amazing culture. It's, not just in Palestine, in all Arab countries, we've got this sort of brotherhood amongst us. I live in Lebanon, where each city, each region has its own kind of people, they say, but I don't like that terms. But that's how they do it. They've divided themselves into who believes in this lives here, who believes in this lives here, and it sort of that division I don't like, but we still manage to work together and still have that brotherhood. Even though there's division, there is still brotherhood in there, and there's still family, and that's what I want people to know, is that with Palestinians, we welcome everyone. We have our amazing culture. We've got culture from arts to theatre to all of it. The food as well, obviously. How can I forget the food? But I thought that was given. But yeah, all of it is amazing, and it's all about sharing. It's all about family, and that's what I want people to know.
It's amazing that the people with being your home being my home, like in Spanish, there's so many sayings where it's all about the sharing, it's not about the division. And you'll see that again in Ireland and parts of Eastern Europe. It's this idea that we're all on this planet to be there for each other. It's not a Darwinian plan that we've just got used to through capitalism here. When there is nothing, there's sort of everything to share. And I also like the fact that you've mentioned the sort of almost pan-Arab dream of these borders being ignored, because these borders were set up again by the British. And I feel really weird when someone says, when I describe myself as half Jordanian, half Palestinian, I feel like it's different between Brighton and Hove. You know, it's one. There's differences in cultures, but it's one language, it's one people, and we're all there for each other. And the Iraqis have been there, you know, through it. This is the other thing. We're watching the whole region deliberately being targeted and coming to its knees, but not falling, not failing. Mo, tell us at the university what are your plans for the society and for, you know, what you want to do.
So for the society right now, we've basically put this an all hands on deck situation. So we have pushed the society into the camp, and our aim is to support the camp, because obviously the society and the camp are two different planning committees. Although I am involved, but I'm involved as a Palestinian, not as president of the Palestine Society. So we are pushing all our resources, everything that the camp needs. Because ultimately, that is the only response we have to the university right now.
Where is the camp, bro?
It's at the University of Sussex, just outside Library Square.
Take them some, like, food and nice things. Yeah, let's go and visit.
Yeah, so all our resources are being pushed towards advancing the camp and making sure that the university meets our demands. Which we've set on our Instagram page of the camp. And until these demands are met, I don't see us moving anywhere. the longer they take, the more land we'll occupy.
How many of you are camping?
We've got on rotation, but for the past 2 days there's been 8 campers overnight. During the day we've got hundreds.
And you've got support in hundreds?
Yes. And yeah, so the plans for the society, just keep pushing for the camp, making sure they have got whatever they need to deliver their message. And yeah, the camp, we are looking for demands, most importantly to disclose and disclose all investments that the university have made, especially the ones with Israeli companies, divest from these companies, giving Palestinian scholarships, and raising this is a long shot, but raising the flag above Sussex House, which is the administration of the university.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you. All power to you, brother. All power to you. This is wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for everything you're doing. And
it's the bare minimum. If the Palestinian doesn't do it, then who is supposed to do it?
Exactly. That's why we're on the stage together. Okay. Thank you.
We're with you, 100%.
Thank you. We're feeling it. Wonderful. Mabruk, and wonderful to chat with you, Mo. And let's give Mo a huge round of applause. Keep it warm tonight.
Unwavering.